everyone, it's Julia. I'm working on a sweatshirt jacket this week. This is a color comfort sweatshirt. The style is 1466. It is a lighter weight. This is a new style for comfort colors, and it's 100% cotton. And it is, this is the color Yam. I just folded the neckline there and put a pin in the center front. And now I'm going to try to find the center front around the bottom. Kind of guessing at that because there are no side seams in this sweatshirt. So I'm just kind of laying it flat and trying to figure out where I think that side seam is, and then I'm going to have those meet and put a pin in the center front. I want to cut this open for a jacket, and this is just the easiest way that I have found to find that center front. We'll be taking this to my ironing board and just pressing that now. Now I can see that press mark. We'll be cutting that down the center, and then also I'm going to cut the cuffs off. I'm going to cut those cuffs right above that seam. And now the design, I'm going to be using my plaids that I had picked up at the thrift store. These are plaid samples. And then also I have a pants leg, jean pants leg here that I'm going to use for pockets. And you can see I have that hem I'm going to use as the top of the pocket. I'm going to cut this open. I'm going to cut it so that that seam is down the middle, so I don't have to deal with that seam on the sides. I hope that makes sense. I'm only going to be using one of these, but I do have 4 of these sweatshirts to make. I'm going to round the corners. I just find it's easier to sew with the rounded corners. And then onto the design, I'm going to use this big flower, and there's 5 different petals, so I'm going to use 5 different colors of these plaids, or 5 different plaids. And now I'm just tracing these petals, and I have 4 of these shirts to do, so I'm going to do each one of these petals 4 times on this Heat and Bond light. Now I'm tracing on the paper side, and I can see my design right through this. It's very easy to trace. I just numbered those petals so I didn't get mixed up when I'm laying this out. And now I'm on to just ironing these onto the back side of these plaids. These plaids are pretty much the same on the front and the back, and so it really doesn't matter, but you do want to put this on the back side of your fabrics. And these are just rough cut, as you can tell. I'm just randomly cut these shapes out, and then I'll take more of a precision cut. I'm just fussy cutting them out now. Folding this back, just the center front. Just going to fold it back about 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch that center front. Just folding it back, folding it towards the wrong side. And then also I'm going to hem the bottom of the cuffs. Just going to turn that up and zigzag that. I cut a lot of these little strips out too. I'm just going to make fabric tubes, and that is going to be my loops, my button loops. So I'm just going to take all this to the sewing machine and just get that all complete. My fabric tubes, I'm just going to turn with these fast turns. It's just like a little notion that I had picked up several years ago. Just an easy way of turning. You can also turn with like a safety pin. There are different other gadgets that you can use for turning. I decided these are just too big, and so I'm going to press them flat, and then I'm going to turn them up one more time and take them to my sewing machine and stitch. Each one of my button loops are going to be a different color plaid, and there's going to be 4 button loops on each of my jackets. And I cut these at 5 inches. Now I'm just going to fold these, just make them into a loop. I'm going to press that top And I'm going to take that to my sewing machine and I'm going to just sew across there. And then my little button loops will be complete. Just going to lay them underneath using my clips to clip them into place. I do place the one on the bottom right above the band and the one on the top right underneath the neckline band. And then the two in the middle I just try to get somewhat even. Just evenly space. And again, putting my clips on. I took these to my sewing machine and straight stitched and then straight stitched again a few, just really close to it. So they're very secure. So that part is done. All my loops are on. Now for that design, I'm just getting my 5 different colored petals out, and I cut a circle out of denim, and that's going to be the center of this. Peeling that paper away and laying it out. It is going to extend a little bit on beyond the side seam, or the supposedly side seam. Like I said, there isn't side seams on this, but that doesn't bother me. I just think it's kind of neat to have a little bit of it going to the back of the sweatshirt. And the center is going to be that denim, and I want that to completely cover, so I just move those in just a tad and ironing this into place. Really easy design, but I just love the different colors. This is kind of what it's going to look like. Now for the pocket. Just one pocket on each of my sweatshirts. Just thought I'd put a little bit of trim at the top. And just kind of looking at this, and I feel like it's too long, and so I am going to cut this off and then just do my curves over. Into my sewing machine again, and I decided to put the circle on with a feather stitch. Any decorative stitch would work, and I moved it in just a little bit, and you'll see why I didn't go completely out to the edge. Finishing that pocket trim, just getting that into place. I think I just used an applique stitch for that. And then just sew that pocket into place. I'm going to use that same feather stitch, and I did space it about 3/8 of an inch away from the edge of that pocket. I do want this denim to fray in washing, and that's why I did that, because I know denim is going to fray, and I just thought that'd make a nice little effect on the jacket. And that's what it looks like. Now that's all in place, and I'm just going to start the fraying, and I'm just by clipping the denim in just a little bit on both that circle and the pocket. And then I have these fun wooden brown buttons that I'm going to use, and little buttons also for the sleeve. Here's some pictures at the end. I really like the overall look. I hope you have a chance to create this week. Bye for now.